Welcome to episode 35 of the Fitasylum podcast. Today we're joined by Sophie. Sophie, how are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
Very well. We just had lunch. I had a lovely lamb chapata. How funny does Harry look behind the camera with his sunglasses on?
I just had a cookie with a straight face and I was like...
So guys, if you are listening or watching, Harry sat behind the camera with his sunglasses on. He doesn't like the lights.
Right, that
He's
makes
very
sense.
sensitive to the light. He needs to look up Coach Gators. He tells us not to use sunglasses. We should absorb it and adapt.
Interesting.
So, how was your lunch? What did you have?
I had a chicken and bacon Caesar salad, toasty.
On toast?
On bread.
Toasty.
Nice,
Toasty is where they
like
press it with cheese.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
So guys, in the comments, let us know what your favourite sandwich is.
Ooh.
What's your favourite sandwich, if you had to pick one?
I'd be really boring and be like cheese and ham. I just love
That
the
is
cheese.
boring.
I don't know.
What would I say? I'd say like either like a steak and onion, something like that.
Oh,
That'd be
Philly
nice.
cheese.
Yeah, Philly cheese.
that's
That'd
a
be
good
pretty
one.
good. That always reminds me of Creed, you know the film? Because they go for Philly steaks.
Have you watched the new one?
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't
I
it?
haven't watched it yet.
Motivational. Creed films are motivational.
Yeah, pretty good.
Always reminds me of childhood as well because of Rocky Balboa. But yeah, now onto the podcast. So, how do you say you eat normally?
I eat fairly balanced. I
Yeah.
think that's my motto. It's balanced lifestyle all the time. So still enjoying what you like, but eating in moderation, quite balanced.
Perfect. I do love that, and I kind of knew what the answer would be. So this is a lot about your coaching, isn't it? You practice a lot of what you preach, which is excellent. Because would you say a lot of PTs do that? The answer's no.
Yes and no. I feel like a lot of coaches can be quite drilling it into the point where, like, I've had a client come to me and say that her past PT was just like chicken and rice all the time,
Yeah.
and now she's got kind of like a fear food of chicken and rice because
Yeah.
it's literally like
Happens
that.
to everyone though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When I was powerlifting when I was a kid, they used to always feed us flapjacks, and then for like ages I couldn't eat a flapjack because I was just like, oh, it makes me think of powerlifting because you had them every single day for years and years and years. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
and I
not
think there's
sustainable.
just so much out there at the minute on social media, like how to eat, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, good, bad foods, and I just don't think
It's
good.
much simpler, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
100%, but people overcomplicate it. How did you get into fitness then?
It's quite hard to be honest because when I was in school, I absolutely hated fitness. I'd be the kid that
Really?
yeah, I'd use excuses to get out of PE. I just
Wow.
hated it, and then I kind of left school and didn't know what I wanted to do because obviously it's a lot of pressure in school where they're like, oh, you need to go to uni to actually achieve something. So again, I went in like a little bit of a gap year, and then I actually found a PT course which I did, and then I fell into fitness through that. I'd already been to the gym prior to that, but it weren't anything serious, and then I started there, and then yeah, fell in love with it.
And after seeing you kind of like coach the students, I can see you have a huge passion for PT and coaching. You're always looking to develop, which is excellent. But just going back to it, you said about you didn't like to do PE when you were at school. We see this as a common theme, especially with young ladies, young girls. Why do you think that is, and what can we do as a country, as kind of like fitness professionals? How can we improve that?
I think it's just more knowledge about it because I think PE isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe more gyms in school would be better. Just teaching, having more knowledge behind it because I think, especially as a woman and girls, they see exercises, they want to be the smallest version of themselves. You know, they see social media as, oh, you got to be like this, and there's so much about it. So I feel like that's why it's quite negative in a way.
So it's like a complete shift then. That's quite a large shift, isn't it? It's not something that can be done overnight. But I completely agree with something you touched on there. And we mentioned it on Saturday on the course. You know, we're one of the only countries that don't have gyms in our schools. You know, kids should be taught how to use gyms, and then they're more likely to go. I know I've used this stat on the podcast before, but only 14% of the UK has gym membership, and only like 8% use it, which is absolutely shocking, isn't it?
Mental.
On the previous podcast we did with Michelle, she talked about how it's just part of your lifestyle. It's just, you know, it's the same as brushing your teeth, needing to eat. You know, all these things that we class as everyday essentials, she's incorporated in that part of her life.
Yeah, definitely. I think once you start doing it and it becomes part of your daily life, it becomes a habit. And then, like, I've got clients now that hate not going to the gym. It makes them feel quite, like, it messes with their mental health a little bit. Like, they feel a lot better when they've been. Like, some days they might not want to go, but as soon as they've been, they feel so much happier, energetic. things like that.
You do a lot of habit tracking with your coaching, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I saw you delivered this weekend on programming, and you show people how you would set up a client. I absolutely love all the processes you've got in place, from supplementation to food to training to steps, everything. That's really good. It shows me that you're a really good coach. How did you get into PT then? Like you've said there, you stumbled onto a course. Were you looking for something in the fitness industry? How did that come about?
Not really. I think I just wanted to learn my own knowledge, and then as soon as I started doing it, I just fell in love with it, like understanding how the body worked and different things about it. And then I just kind of obviously then grew into going into my first PT job at Pure Gym, and then I followed that to the gym group, and then it's just keep going.
Nice. And so how are you doing with your personal training at the moment? Obviously, I know you still coach a lot, even though you do this full time. How is your PT developed, and how's it going, just in general?
It's going well at the minute. I think there's always room to grow.
Nice.
I can say that I was a bad PT at the start, and I feel like I've grown a lot now. I think it's always, you've got a trial and error. You've got to keep growing. There's always something to learn, and I still think there's more for me to learn. Yeah,
there's more for everyone to learn. I think you said there where you weren't a good coach when you first started. I say that to every PT, don't I, on our course, because I was a shocking PT when I started. It's kind of managing expectations, that they know the journey isn't ended or hasn't ended when they get the qualification. It's that continued development. You probably regret asking me on Monday about how do I develop, because I ended up sending you so much.
Yeah.
Have you looked at any of the links I sent you?
Not yet, but I think it's good to have that, because I learn off your knowledge, and I think that you're great, and the way that you say things, I want to learn more about that. So I think it's good that you can see other people's coaching and stuff like that.
But it helps on the flip side, because I watch you coach. I'm like, oh, actually, I've not looked into that for a while, or I'll look at certain stuff. And I suppose you're much younger than me, so you're kind of showing me what new PTs are like and what sort of style they're into. Like when I first started coaching, everything was done on pen and paper. Then we progressed to Google Sheets, thankfully, and I thought that was revolutionary. And now we use apps, where you've probably always used an app, or a large portion of your career used technology to program.
Yeah, so
you've never used pen and paper?
No,
exactly.
No, I think I went through a stage of just doing sessions, and then I ventured onto like Google Sheets.
Yeah, nice.
Didn't really bond with that as much, and then obviously I've tried different apps and stuff like that, and the one that I'm on now is by far my favourite.
Yeah, and it works really well for you. And we discussed it on Saturday with the students. There's not just kind of like one way for every person. There's different apps for different businesses, different PTs, different approaches, different methodologies, and it's ultimately about finding your own way and trying a few of the apps and seeing which one's the best. And if there was one thing you've learnt from personal training, what would you say it is from being a PT?
Oh gosh.
It's quite a tough question.
It is quite a tough question. That there's so many things I've learned, but it's just to not believe everything that you see and hear, and that you don't have to strive to be someone else's aesthetics in a way. So nice. You can just, people see going to the gym as being the best, like trying to stay on top of what everyone else looks like in a sense, but it's actually just, I think it's changing the ways that people are going to the gym now more for the mental and physical health more than the looks.
Yeah,
side.
100%, which is a great change. I think it's amazing that people are kind of seeing the benefits of it in a different way, because sometimes going to the gym can actually negatively impact your mental health if you're chasing an unrealistic goal. And this is, I suppose that comes into the situation where if you're like, I remember a student came in and he had a male physique model on his screensaver, and that male physique model was like obviously on a lot of gear but professed to be natural, and this student thought it was achievable. And it's kind of, you don't want to shatter his dreams, but you kind of need to give him some research studies to understand that there's expectation management needed. And he ended up going on, and he really, really does really well with coaching, and he's really big on, like what you said about managing expectation, helping with habits, helping to form healthy expectations, but also healthy habits. And I suppose healthy is one of the words that I'm not the biggest fan of, because you can say some foods are healthy and some foods are not, which we both know isn't true. But it is a really interesting topic. And how do you think then, like if you could change one thing about you being at school that would help you partake in fitness, what would it have been?
More knowledge.
More knowledge, really? You've said that a lot. So, like, would you like lessons on it?
Yeah, I think more knowledge, because when I was at school, I had PE teachers that were also ICT teachers or maths teachers, or they didn't really know a lot about it. Like they weren't. it was either you get thrown into like cross country or
it's a huge issue,
rounders or something like that, or you'd be put with like the boys and stuff like that. There's nothing, there's no education or knowledge about training or why you should train or why you should move your body in this way, and everyone had to do the same thing.
But I think it comes back down to there's just not enough emphasis put on it. Like some schools do 1 hour a week, some do 2 hours a week. I think the odd school do 2 or 3. But them teachers who are teaching it, like my maths teacher was our football coach. You know, they're not necessarily experts in the industry or even fitness professionals. So that's what I think we need to get in, more people in and around schools teaching. So that's why I asked about us in particular. So that's really interesting. You've moved on now to become a tutor. How are you finding your first 6 months of tutoring?
Yeah, really good. It's a different change, but I enjoy helping PTs become PTs. Because I feel like sometimes when PTs become PTs, they're kind of just left to their own devices. They're kind of left in the deep end. No one really helps them. No. And I think that's when the industry starts to create, not bad PTs, but lack of knowledge. So I enjoy trying to make
naive
the best.
PTs.
Yeah, trying to make the best PTs.
I love that. And I think students have really responded well to your feedback. Because you give very honest and passionate feedback. Like you're on a course with me at the moment at Athelis, and the students are really reacting well to the things you're saying, and that's a clear indicator that you're a good tutor. How are you finding giving feedback to PTs?
I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it because I think there's always somewhere that you can improve on, and I think coming from a PT background, I've been there, I've done it, so I can understand how they can get from where they are to where they want to be. And just making small tweaks it'll make the world a difference. And
that's one of the huge strengths of Fitasylum as a company. We've got people who are personal trainers or have been personal trainers teaching the course. If you do a sports massage course, they've been sports therapists, sports massage people, own their own businesses. It's really relevant, and they've got industry experience. Do you think that's really important that you've been a personal trainer when you teach it, or do you think you could teach PT without actually being a PT?
No, I think it's helped me a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, because I've obviously been there, done it. I understand kind of what works, what doesn't work, and it just gives me a little bit more insight into where they're trying to go and where they are now.
So what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned as a PT in terms of, if there's a PT listening now who's just started up, what are some things you would say to them to kind of help them along the way?
Oh, well, there's a few, so don't give up.
Yeah.
Because it gets hard. It does get hard. It's so hard.
7 out of 10 PTs fail in the first year, which is a crazy stat.
I've been up and down it. It took me a while. I wanted to quit so many times, but honestly, if you keep going, you'll honestly get there. So do that. Don't focus on anyone else's kind of goals or development. Focus on your own.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so much out there that if you keep listening to everything that's out there, you'll just never go where you want to do.
One person might say to you, market like this, and the next person might say market in a completely opposite way, and then you end up somewhere in the middle, and it's just it's actually you've not taken either path, you've just kind of flopped.
Yes, exactly. And then I think another one would just be to invest in yourself, invest in your business. Huge one. As much as you might not want to see that money go, if you invest it, you're probably going to get triple or double that. Always invest in the best technologies and content and marketing, and just always
mentors.
Mentors is a good one.
Business mentors, coaches. Get yourself out there in the industry. I know some people have said to me before, "Oh no, Dec, I don't want to go and spend all this money going to a conference." But I always say to PTs, invest in yourself, because there's no better investment than you as a person, because you're going to use those skills for the rest of your life. And when you say it like that to PTs, there's this light bulb moment where they're like, oh my god, this is something that if I learn it now, I've paid for it once, I literally get it all my life. And it's going to help you earn more money hopefully in the future, especially if you buy the right courses. Is there any courses in particular you would recommend?
Well, I've done obviously my level 3 pre and postnatal.
Nice. Would you recommend that course then?
It depends on who you want to work with.
Yeah.
It depends on where your niche is, what people you want to work with, and where you want to go with that. So I've also done my level 4 PT and strength condition.
Did that help?
Yes and no. I mean, it's always a good thing to have. You want to see yourself as, why would people choose you over other people? Yeah. And knowledge is a huge one. So sometimes people will pick you over other people because of your knowledge. So I think you should always keep on growing and learning, no matter what.
So when I did my strength and conditioning, I actually thought it was a waste of time. We did stuff that I probably either already knew, or there was we did half a day on clean and jerk, and then another half a day on snatch. And I thought I was pretty good at it. And then I met some coaches, or I employed some coaches who were weightlifting coaches. And I was like, I absolutely know nothing. And thankfully, I learned from those guys. And I would say I'm very proficient at coaching weightlifting now because I've worked with them for many, many years. And I think that always made me realise it's more important probably the experiences you have than the course you take. But you can still get a lot of value from doing courses. So like I sent Sophie the other day, like OPEX Fitness is really good. Some of the range of motion one I sent you as well. Like, if there's a company that you resonate with and you watch their content and you think, oh, that's actually, you know, I've used it, more than likely that's going to be a good course for you to go on because you're already kind of in their wheelhouse, in their community, buying into them as a people. So I always think developing is important. I'd also say I've wasted money on courses before. And I say that in a loose way because, you know, you still get experiences, you still meet new people. I'm always thankful for the opportunity. I'm always thankful for the experience, even if it isn't a course that necessarily I thought, oh, I've actually got what I expected out of that. Would you agree? Have you done similar courses, or have all yours been absolutely amazing and learnt loads of stuff from?
I mean, no, I mean, they have been good, and obviously you do learn obviously from them, but again, I think I learn a lot more from like PTs and experience. 100%. I think you always learn more from your experience because you know what works, you know what doesn't work, you know what works best for you and your business. And I think learning from other PTs and other coaches is probably one of the best ways that you can learn because everyone's got their own different styles of coaching, of knowledge, of things like that. So I think that gaining from different ones is really beneficial.
I always remember my powerlifting coach had never done a single qualification. He was just a powerlifter, he'd experienced it, helped a few people, and he was such a good coach. How mad's that he literally never did a qualification in his life. And I just think, and he was, you know, I'd class him as one of the best coaches ever. And I just think, you know, going out there and getting that experience is so much more important. We've had students who have come on the course before who have had master's degrees in all sorts of coaching modalities or strength and conditioning and not made good personal trainers. We've had people who've come on the course before who are probably not as academic but have made great personal trainers. We were discussing one earlier. She has fantastic communication skills and that's such a big part of it. You know, and she's got no prior kind of formal knowledge, but we both know she'll do really well in the industry because one, she has a passion for it. Two, she has a thirst for knowledge and developing, and three, her communication is just brilliant. And I just think, you know, you don't always have to go down that textbook route. You can be as smart as you want, you can read as many books as you want, but until you've taken that journey, you won't actually learn from your experiences. Like, you wouldn't change, would you change any of the way you've kind of gone? Journey-wise?
No, I don't think I would because I don't think I would be how I am now if you don't go through the bad bits and you don't understand.
Made many mistakes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I teach that on the course all the time. And I always say, like me and Harry have set up the mentorship. We always say that's basically just a guide for anyone to not make the mistakes I made. And that's simply it. Like if someone said to me, I can give you 12 modules, each with 4 videos in, and each one of them is going to have a mistake I've made, and you can literally just watch that 3, 4, 5 minute video and hopefully not make that mistake. That's so much better. It's going to save you thousands of pounds as well. And I think more mentorship for PTs is going to be huge in the future.
Yeah.
Even so much so that I think they will have to do some sort of mentorship, so like an apprentice style, so they might pass the course and then do like a 6-month probation or apprenticeship or mentorship. They have to do it before they become like a fully fledged PT. Like I remember it took me a month to get one client.
Oh yeah,
and PTs are so surprised. How long did it take you?
Probably that or longer. You know,
it surprising.
It depends, I think, on where you are, like location wise and stuff like that, and how you are as a person as well. So I think some PTs just think that it just happens, like they come to you and it just happens like that, and in the first month you'll learn so much. I think that's what's wrong with the fitness industry, just because I think the word self-employed and PT, they think of two things. It's work your own hours and earn a lot of money. That.
Instant gratification as well, don't they? They think like they're going to be able to do whatever they want, just work a couple of hours a day and earn loads of money. When realistically, you're working unsociable hours, working more than you think because you're doing programming, and admin work and all your self-employed stuff that looks fancy and lovely on the outside, but on the inside you're a business.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think anyone sees the behind the scenes of everything that you do, you know, staying up late, getting up early, sessions, you know, programming,
speaking to people, helping them with their mental health, helping them with their life, because you get a client who will come in and go, I've just decided I'm divorcing my husband. When did you decide? 5 minutes ago. And you've got to help her through that emotional turmoil.
Oh yeah, the amount of things that I've heard. You literally are.
You're a confide.
Oh yeah, you're like a shoulder to cry on. You're an ear to listen. You're a therapist sometimes.
100%.
Comedian sometimes. I think I'm a comedian
I
sometimes.
can imagine you being a comedian, so
you're literally all of this in one, but that's not even thinking about you're an accountant for your own business, you're a marketer of your own business,
you're the sales manager.
Yeah, you are the business. Yeah, everything in one. That is what you are.
If there's a problem, you'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So people, PTs more specifically, or I guess people in general, if they're looking for the first client, is there any tips you'd give them?
If they're in a commercial gym, I'd just say use what you've got. So, you know, if you're on hours at the gym, use them, you know, be on the gym floor, smile at people, just small interactions such as hi, bye, you know, them small interactions can actually make a little bit of a relationship.
The first thing I always say is be visible.
Yes.
Get as visible as possible. Make it so every single person who steps foot through that gym door
knows who you are.
Knows exactly who you are. You know, we're not going to swear, but I usually tell the PTs on the course, don't I, that they have to be loud and obnoxious. They have to be a little bit like a clown. Everyone knows who they are. Because you wouldn't go to a PT who's boring and quiet, and you want someone who's going to inject that positivity into your life, especially if it's like a commercial gym where people who are not as motivated or disciplined or it's habitual for them. They're probably the people who need that kind of clown approach, where if it's someone who's really serious about their performance and fitness, they don't need as much of that. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that one. And then another one would be, if you're doing classes, use your classes. They come to you for the class, but they also come to your class for you. So use your personality, use that to try and drive people into your business, show them what you like, basically.
100%. It's like a showcase of your skills. Yeah. I also say if you're running classes, it's a fantastic way to get new clients in the terms of you could do a competition at the end of every class and go, right, whoever wins this challenge, it might just be who can hold the plank the longest, gets a free PT session. Or, hey guys, I've got 3 spaces next week for consultations. First 3 people who write the name down get it. Stuff like that. I used to run competitions on all my classes for free PT because they're thinking they're winning something and I'm getting an opportunity to showcase my skills and sell them my PT packages. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, that, yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you are listening and you think you want a nice, affordable mentorship, everyone gets a free month, and after that, it's £30 a month, so it's quite good. How would you say that price point is for mentorship, Soph? Because I've paid about 12
grand. I think that is a great price, because if you look out there, you're looking anything between like £500 to £800,000 a month. It's crazy out there.
Yeah. So it is crazy, but I think we're offering a really affordable service because we really believe in it and we're really passionate about making top quality PTs. But going back to you tutoring, what is your favourite bit about tutoring then?
I think what you just said there is like creating the best PTs out there, because I know full well from my experience in my course that I did, they don't care as much as what this company does and what we do. There is PTs out there that will just qualify and that's it, and you can see them in gyms and stuff like that where they're not as good quality, and that kind of makes me cringe a little bit. And then I think that's what gives the fitness industry a bad name. It's them people that can get a qualification in 2, 3, 4 weeks or overnight, things like that. And I think that's what I enjoy most about this, is we can give them the quality, the knowledge and everything else to create the best PTs.
We did a podcast with Harry, it'll be episode 33, and we talked about at Fitasylum, our number one aim is to produce the best quality that we can, including PTs, including teaching, making it really accessible. And I really do believe every single day we go into work, we're really passionate about making the best PTs and providing the best service. And that's what makes us so unique as a company.
Yeah.
I'm similar to you. I don't think my PT qual was people that really cared necessarily about how I did as a PT. Like, they never messaged again. Like, we keep in contact with our students quite regularly. So much so we invite him onto the podcast often. But moving on to 2024, what are you looking forward to? I know you're running your own cohorts at Manchester, which is a really good gym.
Yeah, it's just going to be a whole new year, hoping to just be a bit more online coaching instead of face-to-face.
Nice.
And just seeing where the year takes me, really.
No specific goal?
Not at the minute, no. Just kind of going through life.
I'll have to get Sophie doing like a powerlifting comp or something.
Absolutely not.
And if you've got one tip for students currently in education, what would it be?
Get as much knowledge as you can. Ask as many questions as you possibly can. Be a sponge.
Yeah.
Get as much knowledge as you can. These people are there. They're going to help you. So just get as much knowledge as you can and just get as much experience as you can.
100% agree. The experience is the key for me. I always think network with the other people that are there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
One piece of advice for fellow professionals, this could be a PT or someone in any profession.
Oh gosh, I guess never stop learning.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, and just never give up.
You're such a big advocate of that because you're always asking me, Deck, how do we do this? Deck, how do we do that?
I think
where did you learn that?
Just,
where did we learn that?
I'm so interested in how to do things better.
Yeah.
Because I know how bad everyone is, or I used to be at the start, and I want my prices to show my value.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big things that no one understands. Like, they don't see the value in it.
And where can people find you on socials then?
I'm everywhere. No, I'm joking.
Go on.
I'm on Instagram.
Shout out your handle.
Oh, Sophie Coaching _.
Nice. Content daily or weekly, would you say?
I try to do daily.
Nice, cool. What sort of content can they find on there?
I do a lot of workouts.
Nice.
I try to do a little bit more knowledge content at the minute, so just on different things.
I like the protein one the other day. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Soph, how have you found the podcast?
Pretty good. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. Were you a bit scared and nervous?
Yeah.
Everyone always is. What do you think of the setup?
I think it's good.
Good.
It's
Awesome.
good.
Guys, if you are enjoying the podcast, please drop us a comment below. Please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. And Soph, thank you very much for joining us.
Very welcome.